From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Somebody gon' get to tell them that I'm coming. And you can tell them that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm somebody tell the world that I'm coming. I'm trying to tell the world that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. What's going on, folks? What's going on, folks? We actually got a good one this morning. Good morning from the U.S. Good evening from France. Catherine's coming through with the topic, the health benefits of nature. Let's bring the lovely lady in and let's get this thing started. One sec. Hey.
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good evening to you.
Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah, it's only 2 p.m.
Good stuff.
How
It's-
have you been? Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been dealing with some bicep tendonitis and excruciating pain. So I finally
How are you feeling now?
feeling much better.
Okay.
So yeah. All is well. How about you?
I'm good.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. How's the
Thank
weather
you.
over in France?
It's sunny, but the cold is coming in. Today we have 8 degrees. I don't know how is that? We talk on Celsius here, so
Yeah.
it's 8 degrees Celsius.
Good stuff.
Yeah. What about there? It's cold?
Nah, not cold at all. So rain,
Really?
muggy and all that stuff out there.
Okay. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for creating this space already. Thank you for being here. I acknowledge and I give grace that we are here today.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So the health benefits of nature.
Yeah.
Go
How
ahead.
often do you go to the nature yourself?
I'm actually I get out in the backyard if that's getting out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I
In
enjoy
the you said the backyard.
my backyard.
Okay. You have a very big home.
It's a very big backyard.
Okay.
Kobe gets to
The
run around and whatnot, and I get to sit on the patio and take it in.
okay. The benefits of having a home. Like versus living in a town, we always
Right.
chasing these greeneries, and like for me to go out, I mean to be in the nature or to go even to a park, I have to get out of the house and walk around.
Right. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. So yeah, nature is really good for us because we always feel, I don't know for you, now maybe now you can't walk for a long time, but before I know you, you used to go and fish.
Yeah.
And I know fishing really brings that joy and calmness, being in the water with, like seeing animals next to the water,
Mhm.
going hiking, climbing mountains. You're always feeling good, like watching the tides. And I
Right.
mean, that's what nature is all about. Nature actually, it's just everything but what man has created.
Exactly. You know
Yeah,
what's so funny about fishing? It's funny that you bring that up. I
yeah,
used to love to sit by the bank and as I'm pulling them in that fresh fish,
yeah.
the smell of fresh fish.
Mhm.
Just I love the smell of fresh fish. Love it.
That's so, that's so
Yeah.
sad. That's so
Yeah, I
sad.
used to enjoy fishing a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I would say like the nature so far, it's not something like we would have thought about, but today we are seeing more and more people going into the nature. But what is more important and more interesting is there are some countries that are really now prescribing nature as part of healing.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, like countries like Australia, Japan, China, some part of US, Canada, they're really prescribing nature. Like people go with health cares, health take
Right.
cares, and they go to the nature because they feel and they have found that being in the nature really brings that calmness, especially people who are going through depression, anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't. I think it's China and Japan. They have these programs of forest bathing. Like they go to the forest and spend some times in the woods.
Oh, I didn't know.
How amazing is that?
I had
Can you
no.
hear me? I can hear you.
You can't hear me now?
There I can, but before I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's really interesting to know that we can use the nature to bring back to ourselves, to bring health.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah,
I know on our previous podcast we talked about how important it was for me to have Kobe around in my condition. As
yeah.
far as, can you explain that again to the folks?
The fact of having an animal,
Yeah, the benefits of having it.
um, related to the nature or just having a pet.
No, no, no. Going out in nature when he goes out, he comes in, he's bringing back good microbiome.
Yeah, but that is really, it was about the microbiome. When you have an animal and it's going out, it brings back the microbiome. But actually, it's also even just having a pet animal. Like we could say dogs go run around, but cats don't. But still having that cat has a different microbiome than as humans. And so interacting with those microbiome also helps to healing. But for sure, when you take your dog outside, it rolls in the grass or goes into the woods, and it brings that microbiome to you. Is that what you mean? That's what you,
Yeah, that's exactly what I
yeah,
meant. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and knowing that we are living in the especially people who are living in town, we have these chronic diseases because maybe because of our lifestyle. Mostly, it's not
Mm.
maybe, but it is part of it because of we are having so much of sedentary life, living seated down for a long time. Something people think that sedentary, it's actually like we are doing nothing, but actually someone who is working all the time. Like for myself, before I really started working on blogging, I used to walk a lot. I could go
Mm.
out for 3, 4, 5 hours.
Right.
Whereas I can't do that now because my schedule is rhythmed by work and or coaching, research and all that. So someone who is working in the bureau or someone who is working from home, and most of the time we are all seated, even if you do that one walk or maybe 2 hours into the in outside or exercise, especially if you're going to the gym, you're
Right.
still considered you're sedentary because you're mostly seated.
Hmm.
And this is major cause of the diseases that we're having today. So having that sedentary life and also not eating well causes the chronic diseases that we are seeing today. And so when we are talking about going to the forest or going to the nature, is to help ourselves to at least minimize the effects of those of sitting down for a long time.
Right.
uh, and yeah, getting resourced, I would say. It's kind of resourcing ourselves.
To give you an example, on
Mm,
a couple of weeks ago, this bicep tendonitis started flaring up. I mean, I
mhm,
couldn't really get out of bed, the muscles and the nerves and all that stuff, right?
mhm.
So maybe like 3 or 4 days into that flare up,
Yeah.
I decided to go out in the backyard.
Oh,
And so I let Kobe out. So I took the wheelchair because I couldn't walk. Because I mean,
really?
it's that bad. Yeah,
To
it's that bad.
to that point.
Yeah. So I wheeled the wheelchair out, wheeled out, and I sat on the patio and I took in the sun. Like at the, say like around the 10 o'clock hour, the sun is actually prominent in my backyard, like beaming down. I
Yeah.
sat there for at least 2 hours.
Mhm.
Do you know I was rejuvenated and felt good and got out of the wheelchair for a minute? Just by
Wow.
sitting in the sun, just basking in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something
Oh,
that simple.
that's some simple. Yeah. Yeah. The sun and that exposure to the sun really makes, and you're back to yourself. You're not
Yeah.
just thinking about the disease, especially when you're locked in the house. you, it's like a prison on itself. When you're outside, you're listening to the birds that we talk about sensory. You're listening to the birds, the birds that are moving around, the insects that are coming around, and you just sit down there, and there is that calmness. It's a good thing for you that you have a background where you can go and sit down. And I'm sorry for what has been happening to you, and
That's okay.
wish you a quick recovery.
Yeah, it's part of the process. I'm actually I'm better, not all the way better, but I'm a little better. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So, I set my mind to that. So it's a part of the process and I do what I can. So
Hmm.
if I'm limited, I just do what I can.
Okay.
So
For,
like
for,
this
for sure.
yeah, like this morning when I'm finished with you, I'm gonna go over to the gym and I'll probably go in the sauna and do the cold dip and stretch a little bit.
Okay.
No weights or anything like that. So it's a process.
Okay. Just to get out of the subject that we're having today, do you do cold therapy?
Yeah,
Okay. Like
yeah.
you go into
And a
cold
co
water,
it's a cold dip.
immersing, okay. Okay.
No, it's actually
And
I mean, the pool temperatures, I mean, I'm talking about cold,
cold, cold, cold. Yeah.
real cold, real cold.
Okay.
And actually, what's so funny, I have my brother working out with me now,
Hmm.
and, I did the cold dip and got an hour later,
Hmm.
felt like I could run a marathon.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, it is. It really is.
Okay.
It's
And
it's a mindset thing with that cold dip. I wouldn't
yeah,
recommend that to anyone who's scared of cold or, hesitant of getting something cold or being
yeah,
around cold weather. I
yeah.
wouldn't recommend it, but it takes some time. Takes some time.
I
It just,
actually, what I would say is you start with cold shower,
hmm
and you build that then before going to immersing yourself into that cold water. I have
right.
never done it, but I know through research that is really something that is being
It's
used.
so good.
A
The
lot
cold,
of athlete sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, I said a lot of sports people are using it,
Mm.
so I think it's
Yeah,
something
I
that
felt
is
like
really working.
after I get out of the cold tub, I feel like I can run miles. Even with
Wow.
even the saltwater pool, I do
Mm,
laps in the saltwater pool. I walk. There's this bar in the middle of the pool,
mhm.
and go around. It's warm, and what have you. And it's amazing, man. Something
Wow.
simple as water make me.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's not simple because we are made of water.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
We are, I think, 70% made of water. So it's a significant amount.
Absolutely.
So going back to the nature, so the benefits of being outdoor, doing outdoor activities, first is physically, because
Mhm.
when you're walking, especially when you're doing these fast walks and you walk for a long time, you're building the core, the bone structure. And so it can really help strengthening ourselves, strengthening our muscles and souls for the future, especially when we are going to grow old, and prevent um, some diseases, especially bone fractures at an old age. Walking also, depending with the intensity, can also help manage the weight.
Mhm.
So for people who want to lose weight and they don't want to go to those high intensive workout, they can do walking and they can manage that with good diet and lose weight.
Right.
The other thing is mental health, as I said earlier, because when you're in the nature, you really feel the calmness. You know, it's like the nature really helps to lower the cortisol. This is the stress hormone,
Right.
and the stress hormone is always, you really feel you want, like the body really feels like you need to change, you to run away from something. So it blocks a lot of other body functions. And so when you're in the nature, you feel the calmness, and this has been proven to increase serotonin and vitamin D, especially if it's sunny, which both of these will regulate the moods.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing is about brain health. When we go to the woods, when we are in the nature, be it in the mountain, the ocean, or by the river, you
Hmm.
really have that attention being improved, improving attention, and you can improve your memory and creativity.
Right.
This in the future can prevent old related diseases like Alzheimer and Parkinson. The other one who has the other effect is on health, heart health. So this one
Mhm.
has been really, I think most studies have been done on the fact that being in the nature and walking can reduce the blood pressure, and then which can prevent the heart disease.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something else of importance is the inflammation. I don't know if you know that the most plants, but we'll say the trees, they have some chemicals. They release some chemicals. We call them the terpenes, and these chemicals, they have anti-inflammatory components. And
Good.
so that's so. Did you say
Good.
something? And
No.
that's why when we go into the walk in the woods, we feel like we don't have that inflammation going up. It can help reduce inflammation. And the fact also that you have vitamin D coming from the sun, if actually you're walking during the summertime, wherever you are. I know people who are within Equator, they don't have summer, and they don't have seasons. And so when you walk outside and you have uh, vitamin D coming through the sun, that
Mhm.
one is also an anti-inflammatory component there. And the other thing was about, it's about microbiome, just like the way we mentioned about you taking your pet outside. And so
Right.
when you're outside there, you get the microbiome from the forest, from the woods, from the water banks, from
Mhm.
even when you're gardening next to the plants and all that, you get that microbiome that is coming to enhance what you already have in the gut. Being in the nature also can help you regulate sleep because it makes you feel calm, especially walking in the afternoon, in the evening after meal can
Right.
really help you sleep well because you're reducing the stress. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Go ahead. I'm fine. I'm just here
Oh,
learning. Go ahead.
okay. And yeah, being in the nature as well, especially when you do the exercises outside. I know there are a lot of people who do exercises indoors, but when you go outside and do the exercise, you feel more, how can I say, energized because you're breathing new air, fresh air,
Hmm.
versus when you're just with a machine and you're working indoors. And so that one has really been started to bring that feeling of more energy and vitality.
I have to agree with you on that because after the gym, I do this thing called workout after the workout,
Yeah,
and I do cardio with Kobe
yeah,
after I get back from the gym. Like
yeah.
I spend like 3 hours at the gym.
Mhm.
I get home, I immediately
You go out.
go out. I feel so much better
Mhm,
here doing the cardio than
mhm.
over at the gym because I'm closed in.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a closed place. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I understand that. Yeah. The other thing is isolation, and this I think it came through COVID. Like they were when we were all shut down and we couldn't
Mhm.
go out. And so we were isolated, and people who went out felt less isolated than those who never went anywhere. And I remember, for example, for me, I used to wake up very early in the morning and I would go out. Um, I don't know for your country, but as we had a limited time and we had limited kilometers we could go,
Mhm.
so I would wake up early and just go where I could go and come back. And you feel like even if you're not meeting a lot of people, you
Right.
feel less isolated because you're in the nature and you're hearing other creatures living without COVID and scared.
Now over here was it over here was like we were in prison, so there was no
Really?
time to go out and whatnot. It just closed in.
Wow. As we had some, like you had 1 hour to go out and you
Mhm.
could like go and buy food, and especially um for yeah, we had that 1 hour to go out.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is the stress from work, especially once again when you come back to if you're working in the bureau and you're having people with whom maybe you don't have a good relationship, or you're having a lot of workload.
Mhm.
So you're so much stressed, and just going out, if you have a park next to your place, not
Right.
next to your working place, instead of eating lunch in the building, you can go and eat outside, and that is really going to help you to relieve the stress.
Mhm.
Yeah, so being, even if you're not doing much, like you're not exercising, but just going and taking your lunch outside. And I know there's some people who do like if you have 1 hour for lunch, you go, you take maybe 20 minutes, you go, you eat, and then you go out for the next 40 minutes. But
Right.
also, if you went out and just sit down and eat in calmness, it's going to really lower the stress that is coming from the office.
Gotcha. You know what I haven't done in quite some time?
Yeah,
Have a picnic. I
it's
used
a
to love
picnic.
picnics.
Really?
Yeah, I used to love picnics. Like eating
Wow.
outside,
Yeah,
throwing a blanket, all that stuff. I used to love
yeah,
picnics.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you don't see people doing that anymore.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it will come. It will come. I think if it's something that you really want to. But I think with your condition, it's like not as easier to manage everything.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The other thing is the spiritual. I don't know for you, if you're outside, do you feel like you're not
I do.
alone? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Like,
I feel
yeah.
the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. That connection with uh, a higher self. Like you're not alone. And this has been experienced by many people. You have that um, feeling like you're happy, and nothing is really making you happy. It's just you feel that
Exactly.
subjective happiness and joy just being outside, meaning
It makes
like,
me feel when I'm outside in the backyard or when I'm actually doing cardio with Kobe.
Yeah.
I truly feel like time has stopped.
Hmm. Hmm.
I really feel like that. When I'm outside, I'm actually enjoying it and basking in the sun.
Yeah.
Time stops for me.
Well, that's beautiful.
Very, very soothing. Very soothing.
It's really soothing to be outside. And actually, that goes to the next point, is that self-esteem. People have reported that when they go out, they feel that, like, you have accomplished something. Like
Right.
for me, when I go to the mountain and I hike the highest top, you
Right.
feel something, you feel awesome, you feel, I really feel like I've made it. There's so many things maybe I would find joy into, but really when you climb that mountain, or when you run that race, or when you walk those 2 hours in the nature, it
Mhm.
makes you feel more confidence, and like you can face a lot of other things in life, because I
By the
think you
way,
feel fulfilled.
exactly. By the way, those pictures were amazing. I enjoy watching those pictures, looking at all those pictures and the different scenery. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
was.
Yeah. So my last point would say, going to the nature helps us socialize. It can be like, how do you socialize when you're outside? But for me, for personally, I have found, like, when we are in the mountains, when we are
Mhm.
in the nature, people are prone to say hi so easily than when we're in the town. Like when you're in the nature, when you're in the mountain, everyone is saying hi to everyone. How, However, when we're in the town, it's like you can hardly say hi to someone here. It's like, you say hi and someone is looking at you. What next? Like,
Mhm.
you have another business to say. Whereas in the nature, is like you feel people are just like, yeah, we belong together. It's like kind of like we have that sense of belonging. We are
Right.
oneness. And so for people who don't have, they live alone, they can join clubs. I see where I live, there is a big park, and I see people going there. Some people are doing this it's from North Europe walk, where they have some things they walk with.
Right.
Just have other people go out to do some, like a coach would take his or her people into the park, and they do the activities together. So
Mhm.
being in the park can be a part of a way of socializing with others.
I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy nature. And actually, to be honest with you, when I was doing some research on this bicep tendonitis,
Mhm.
and one of the home remedies called for soft sounds and soft air and whatever's going on out in nature. That
Mhm.
actually call for that. They call
Yeah,
to calm it. Once you calm yourself, it calms the nerves and the nervous system and makes everything work again. So
for
all the
sure, for sure.
tension, yeah, all the tension. I was like, wow, okay. But
Yeah,
honestly, like I said, when I went to the backyard, sat there for about 2 hours, my body and my nervous system calmed down. The
that's awesome.
spasms eased up and subsided. So yeah,
Yeah. It's amazing, because when I was doing the research on cancer, when I was writing the paper,
mhm,
I found that like in the hospital, just the building, people who face nature heal better than people who are facing just the parking lot,
right,
or facing just another building in front of them. Because I mean, there is that thing, like, like the soul is projecting itself into that healing.
right.
And there are even some places, there are some research where people would be asked to put a photo of something, a nature, for example, waterfalls or plants, that the patient can really focus on that. And it's going, just imagine yourself, you're there, can help you heal better than when you just have the plain wall.
Right.
So really, nature is like, And I think I don't know who asked. It's my one of my kids who asked me. So what does it make the difference? I say I think it calls us back to where we come from because at the end of the day we are still animals,
Exactly.
and our closest species they are still in the forest. So I think it's that where the human being feels called to where he came from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. That was deep. That was really deep. But that's true though, man. Even with the waterfalls,
Yeah.
very calming, very soothing.
Yeah.
It relaxes you.
Really, for
Like
sure.
when I would be fishing, right? And
Yeah.
hearing the water just relaxes you, and I could sit there all day. I would
I
actually go out.
love that.
I
I
used to
love
go
that.
out. I used to go out at like 6 in the morning, and I'm not done until 6, 7 in the evening.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's so
Wow.
calming, and yeah, I pack a lunch and bring everything I need to bring, and I just sit there and fish.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah. I like the sound of the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the funniest thing is sometimes when I am walking or when I want to meditate, that's what I put. Like sometimes I would like the rain, like feeling
Mhm.
the rain with thunders. It really feels like I am in the jungle. And sometimes I just close my eyes and like, yeah, it's falling in like I'm even in the rain, like being rained on. And so soothing. It makes me so happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
stuff.
gonna,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's it for me.
That's it. Cool. That's good. That's good. So, you got anything in mind for the next podcast?
I have some articles that I have written, and I would like to talk about breast cancer because I got some shocking news. You know, those things you look, you say, this shouldn't be right. I found, and this is for African women, African American, and African who are in Africa, like the
Mhm.
Black people.
Right.
I found that both men and women have severe cases of cancer compared to other races.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. My mother had breast cancer
Hmm.
before she passed, and that's what inspired me to do those two 24-foot gardens for her, and started eating out of the backyard.
Yeah.
And she was, cured from cancer, and she lasted several years after that.
Okay.
So she didn't
Okay.
pass away from cancer.
Okay.
She beat breast cancer and beat it. But I started feeding her out of the garden. Everything was fresh. Everything from greens
Wow.
to okra to all that stuff. Yeah,
That's
that'd be
really
a great
good.
one. That'd be a real good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that it makes me feel, like why we need to ask ourselves the right questions.
Right,
And because it's also like what the research is, it's 50% of the cancers can be prevented.
right,
And if we have that information, seriously, we need to do something.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
there is this post I posted yesterday on Facebook. My breakfast was peas, green peas.
uh,
And someone asked, why are you telling people to eat, to stop eating, these sugary breakfasts? You let people eat what they're eating. And this is not the first time I'm reading this, especially from African people. I don't think those are in America, it's more people who are in Africa,
hmm
asking why the European people are eating their pasta, they're eating their pizzas, they're eating the croissants and baguette, and they look healthy, right?
right,
And as we are telling Africans, please be careful, don't eat this bread, don't eat that. And I was like, well, I answered the comment. I was like, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
because one, there is food regulations. And when, and I haven't even posted that, I'll make a short video about this because people really get confused. Just like the way you used to see in the movies, I don't know for you, but for us, when I was in Africa, most Africans, when they see the movies, they think that exactly how the white people are living, that the way
Mm-hmm.
life people are living in Europe. People in Europe, they are not the same. I mean, the way we are eating today, it's not the same we were eating when I came here 26 years ago. There
Right.
is a lot of junk food in every street, things that never existed then. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of obesity, obese people. And even though there is that junk food that people are eating, still there is food regulations that are, I don't think there is anywhere else in the world that
Right.
food is regulated the way it is here. So there are a lot of chemicals that are banned here that are in America. I don't know where Africa gets its this pre-packed food, maybe from China. And we have seen Chinese and Japanese society really having these metabolic diseases coming up
Right.
since
Right.
the globalization. So we have to be very careful what we are eating. We can look at people and say, yeah, they're eating their sandwiches with their bread, but what makes their bread different from mine? And for sure, they are really different.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I was telling my brother about a month ago now.
yeah.
I mean, he loved white bread. I
Hmm.
said, just cut. I said, cut the white bread out. I said, wean yourself off of it. And if I'm gonna eat bread, I eat keto bread.
Hmm.
So I let him try the keto, and
And what
he
is keto made of, if you don't mind saying?
it doesn't have the yeast in it, no sugar, no nothing.
And keto is mostly made with almond flour, I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
So and it's a very very light bread, very light. So he tried it.
Hmm.
He's like, man, I feel like I'm losing weight. I said, weigh yourself and check it out. He literally, from stop eating that bread, lost
Hmm.
weight. Like, man,
Wow.
I said, you can't eat that bread like that, white bread like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know?
Hmm.
But
Yeah, we have
I cut,
to. I
cut
mean, I
that,
mean,
I cut the pasta and everything out of my diet. I'm at
yeah.
184 pounds, man. Very lean, very
Congratulations.
lean.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, people don't really, they don't have this awareness. And sometimes we might, when I say it's ignorance, it's not being rude, but because we are all to a certain point ignorant about one thing or
Right,
another. So when we have this education, this awareness, and we are trying to bring it to people, I hope people can receive it as a helping hand. It's not like I'm telling you change the way you're eating because it's going to do you anything good.
right,
It's just because we have been there and we have this knowledge to tell you, okay, this food is doing this to you, and these are the reasons why.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So that'd be a good one on the next podcast. We're talking about cancer or breast cancer. Which one?
we have already done cancer. We are doing breast cancer.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Tell folks where they can get your book.
My book is on Amazon, and actually, yeah, there is the book in Amazon. And I wanted to say this article, The Nature and about cancer, you can read these articles in foodandheal.com. Um, I offer coaching for women who want to improve their health, who want to enhance their lifestyle, and prevent diseases as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, you guys can catch Catherine here twice a month, right here on Conversation with Trent and Friends, featuring the lovely nutritious coach, Catherine Getter. So I enjoy these podcasts. I really do. Really
Thank
enjoy it.
you.
Really
Thank you. Thank
enjoy it.
you.
Learn something
Thank you.
every single time that we podcast. So I really enjoy that.
Thank you so much. I wish you get your health back, whatever it was before you started feeling pain.
Yeah, no, it's coming. gradually coming back. So I'm headed to the
Okay.
gym now. So
Okay.
still a little stretching.
Okay. Thank you. Try to reduce some stress. Maybe you're wearing some stress on your shoulders. I don't know.
Nah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
You're
fine.
fine with the stress or you don't have any stress?
I'm cool as the other side of the pillow. I am cool as the other side of the pillow.
Okay.
I process things a little different from the average person who's actually taking this journey as far as recovery from a stroke and a bleed.
Yeah.
I just take it as it comes. And I actually, what's better for me, I embrace the pain and I run
Okay.
toward it. I don't run away from it.
Get that. What you embrace becomes grace. What you push away persists.
You get it. You get it.
You get it. Yeah.
You get it.
So it's good sometimes to embrace what comes along. There are always lessons and
Yeah.
yeah.
You'd be surprised, man. People would be surprised if you embrace the turbulence. It's gonna smooth itself out, but you
Yeah.
have to embrace it first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't the only thing that bothered me was I couldn't get to the gym and work out. I couldn't do my cardio,
Mhm.
all this other stuff. But I started doing stuff around the house, like
Okay.
going in the backyard, doing things like that.
Okay.
I adapt and I adjust to any situation that's thrown at me. I adapt and I adjust to it.
Sometimes, and I'm sorry, maybe I don't want to take your time.
Nah, you're good.
There is always a reason why things happen. And
Absolutely.
maybe that was the time that the nature is telling you slow down.
Yeah,
Maybe that time there was maybe a virus walking around and maybe your body, it's not at that point of getting that infection. And so you are,
exactly.
being prevented from getting that. I always, not always, but trying to look at things from a positive side, like why is
Ex-
this happening? And not why is it happening to me, but what lessons are there too for me?
Exactly.
And
I had to realize that, and it did dawn on me until the other day. I was like, wow, my body needed a rest. I've literally been working out daily for almost 5 years.
now you go, you see there, you see, that's what I said.
Yeah,
The nature was telling you need to relax.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm able to sleep through the night again because
Okay.
I was up through the night until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because my shoulder was bothering me that bad. But I had to realize that, wow, I've been working out consistently for
Yeah.
5 years straight, almost 5 years, nonstop.
Wow.
So my
Yeah.
body's, hey, you got to slow down. So
Really, for sure, for sure.
let's go.
Those are
Real,
good news. Those are good news.
yeah, yeah.
Take
So
thing we take things positively.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to the next podcast
Yeah.
here with Catherine. And as always, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple, Taylor Kennedy TV, and YouTube. So good stuff, man. Real good stuff. So if you didn't catch us live, you could always catch us on a playback. You want to close out, Catherine?
Thank you so much for everyone who is watching this, either live or replay, and even some years to come because it's there in the YouTube.
Absolutely.
I appreciate this time and I'm grateful. And thank you, Trent, for letting me have this.
All good, all good. You know that. All good, all good. So
Yeah.
until our next podcast, we'll see you guys. I'll be back on air Sunday with the Gumbo Talk crew, Shannon, Coach D, and Ursula. So we'll be back. You guys take care. And I'm going to say good evening to France and over in East Africa. Good evening. And good morning to you guys in the States. So we'll talk soon. You guys be epic.
Au revoir.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.